Member Graves and all the members of this great committee. Congresswoman Craig, thank you for the kind introduction. As many of you know, I've served on this committee for a number of years, but today I'm here as a representative of the National Governors Association. This nation's 50 states and 5 territories. The governors have made infrastructure their top priority. On February 23rd, all of those governors will gather here in D.C. for a roundtable focusing on infrastructure. It's the foundation that the states are built on. Governors have taken action to enhance infrastructure, including creating new and increasing existing funding streams, addressing regulatory delays, improving transparency, and promoting innovation. I'd like to highlight just a couple of things for you today. Governors understand that no single stream of revenue or approach to financing will address all the gaps. States need a comprehensive approach that allows for leveraging a variety of funding sources and the flexibility to match the right tool with each project. States succeed when there is certainty and stability in long-term federal resources, ensuring workforce and economic vitality. We need to fix and expand existing infrastructure and invest in resiliency for security and climate change. We must build a robust multi-model system to fit our growing populations. We must attend to needs across our rural, urban, and suburban areas. Infrastructure encompasses more than roads and bridges, as you well know. It includes everything from seaports and airports to the upper Mississippi River locks and dams, biking trails, and in our state, investments in electric vehicle charging networks. We have to see how all these pieces fit together. A few weeks ago, I was in Halleck, Minnesota. That's on the northwest frontier of Minnesota. You might be familiar with it because it was near a place that reached 70 degrees below zero last week and caught a lot of people's attention. That's not only hard on people, it's hard on infrastructure. But also there are resilient people doing great things that understand how infrastructure improves their lives. Sitting outside of Halleck is a really successful liquor distillery called Far North Spirits, and it sits on a gravel road. It has spotty internet service. The owner of that says, better infrastructure means I can get folks to and from this, and the ability to be able to communicate makes us so that we're more competitive. But she also mentioned the need to invest in transit, like light rail in Minneapolis and St. Paul, where 97% of her product is sold and people need to move. So as Halleck goes, so does Minneapolis-St. Paul, and as Minnesota goes, so does the rest of the country. Governors understand that our interconnectedness and our thoughtfulness of providing those opportunities is what grows our economy. This hearing was titled "The Cost of Doing Nothing." And you heard Chairman DeFazio talk about what happens in idling, what happens in repair bills, what happens when we can't get products moved to us and that cost is passed down to consumers. Sometimes it comes a lot faster than that, and sometimes it comes tragically. Many of you on this committee were sitting here on a hot August day in 2007, while in Minneapolis, 111 cars sat in traffic on the I-35W bridge across the Mississippi River during rush hour, filled with people going about their business. They were headed to a Twins game. They were picking their kids up for soccer. There were several buses bringing kids from a field trip. They weren't thinking about infrastructure because they don't want to have to think about infrastructure. But at 6:05 p.m., their lives changed forever when our inability to keep up with infrastructure needs resulted in the catastrophic failure of that bridge. 13 people lost their lives and 145 more were seriously injured. Minnesota has the 5th largest road system in the United States, although we have 22nd in population. Connecting people in rural areas as well as urban areas is something we pride ourselves on because it builds resiliency into our economy. It also gives people the opportunity to choose where they want to live. But Minnesota's roads need investment. Our state's most recent state highway improvement plan identified $18 billion in shortfalls over the next 24 years just to maintain what we have. That doesn't include all the other modes of transportation. Minnesotans are willing to pay their fair share when they know it's going to good use, like roads, bridges, transit. And for all of you in here, there are many different funding streams, but it must be dependable. It must be there. And one of the things is, and for better or worse, the gas tax and the highway trust fund is the way we did that. So I made no bones about it. I don't know, for each of you have all run for office, it's usually pretty good advice, don't run on raising people's taxes, except in the instance of infrastructure. We ran a campaign talking about investing in that. We ran about telling them that we needed to have those dedicated funding, and not only did they respond to that, they responded overwhelmingly that this is something they believed in. In a few weeks, myself and governors across this nation will be introducing their budgets. In Minnesota, we'll propose a comprehensive transportation package addressing all modes of transportation to improve the lives of Minnesotans. Now, I want to be clear. Not all governors in the NGA agree on a gas tax, but all of those governors agree that if we choose to not invest, the cost will go up, the safety needs of our citizens will be put at risk, and we will continue to fall further and further behind in trying to move forward into the 21st century. I look forward to your questions, and thank you for the time.
Thank you for observing the time limits and a good safe